That made me remember that. That was an emotional reunion back in February, and freed hostage Keith Siegel celebrated with his family after spending 484 days in Hamas captivity. Now, the former hostages are calling on President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to move quickly to free the remaining hostages, saying this: "We are in dramatic hours that will determine the future of our loved ones, the future of Israeli society, and the future of the Middle East. Missing this historic opportunity for a deal to bring the hostages home would be a resounding failure that will be remembered in infamy forever." And freed hostage Keith Siegel joins us live, and we're so glad to have you.
Welcome.
Before we get started with your story and your message today, I just want to play a little bit from President Trump about bringing hostages home.
I was told just before I left that they were going to be releasing Idan. We thought Idan was dead. 3 weeks ago, they said Idan was no longer living. And it was a very, very good thing. Ultimately, all hostages of all nationalities must be released as a stepping stone to peace, and I think it's going to be happening. A lot of things are happening. A lot of very positive things are happening on every front.
And you still wear the T-shirt, the Bring Them Home Now. And we want to just open it up to you about your reflections today and your concern about those who are still held.
I am so happy that Idan Alexander was released. And I am very grateful to President Trump for making that incredible achievement, and of course for getting me home. You know, most of the time in captivity, negotiations were stalled, and it didn't look like anything was making any progress, and I was worried when and if I would ever make it back. Things changed when President Trump was elected. Negotiations got on track, and I and many others were released back to our families. I'm eternally grateful for that. I urge President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu and the mediating countries to get negotiations on track and reach an agreement that will bring all of the 58 hostages that are still in Gaza back home as soon as possible.
I have some specific questions about your experience. On October 7th, did you think going into Gaza with Hamas that I can survive this? Or were you thinking I just saw the last of my days?
From the 7th of October and throughout the whole 484 days that I was in captivity, I promised myself that I would survive and make it back to my family. I didn't feel that there was an alternative as far as I'm concerned. Thinking about the suffering that my family was going through while I was there, and just feeling that I must survive and get back to them, that they will not have to live with that suffering and not knowing what happened to me for the rest of their lives. My wife Aviva and I were kidnapped together on October the 7th. We spent 51 days together in captivity. She was released after 51 days, I'm sorry. And then I was held on and off half a year on my own, and the rest of the time with other hostages.
You brought some things you want to show our audience, and let's give you a chance to do that.
Okay. Yes. This is Matan Angrist. Matan and I were held together, locked in a room for 67 days. We formed a very close relationship. We helped each other survive. We helped each other get through each day. Both of us suffered abuse. We suffered violence, physical violence of many kinds. Terrible abuse that I never imagined people were capable of doing, and that people would have to live through this. This is Matan, what he looked like on October the 7th, and this is Matan and what he looked like in July after he was interrogated by Hamas. You can see
almost a different person with all the abuse.
A different person, yeah. And
very much injured.
Doctors have seen these pictures and have testified that Matan was beaten and he suffered fractures in his face, and he was severely burned on October the 7th. Matan has not received the medical attention that he needs from October the 7th, and we're now at 588 days of the war.
You mentioned 58. We have numbers of 59 hostages, of whom 35 are considered dead. So that's roughly 24 that are assumed to be alive today. Do we know if Matan is alive?
Hamas put out a video about a month ago, and
so as of a month ago. As
of a month ago, if that video was actually taken when they said it was. But in the video, I saw a completely different person. Matan looked, in all ways, physical, emotional, psychological, just completely
Well, I pray
different.
that you will be reunited with him one day, and that's one of your messages. And today also, when you were in captivity, you would think about eating your family's recipe, the pancakes. And the pancakes became a thing, and everybody wanted to have these pancakes. And today, at 12 Chairs, which is a restaurant downtown, or Israeli restaurant downtown here in New York, I guess they're serving pancakes all day long in order to bring this attention to it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so the Pancake House will be open from 10 until 3 p.m. today. The Pancake project, which was initiated by my daughter, and thinking about the many wonderful family times that we had together eating pancakes, and it brought a more personal aspect of our past, and she thought it would connect people and get them engaged in the efforts to return all of the hostages. And I really, really want to stress today the urgency of getting all of the 58 hostages that are still in Gaza back home as soon as possible.
Yes.
Keith, you're a strong man. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.